Do you have mom guilt? Hi, and welcome back to Supermom Knows Best. I'm Erin. Today we're going to be talking about mom guilt or parenting guilt. It's a very real thing that I know a lot of mamas who suffer from it. It's that feeling that you're not spending enough time with your kiddos, or that you're not telling them you love them enough, but yet you're yelling at them more than saying I love you. I know several parents who are hard-working parents. And especially these days, with the way that the economy is, it really does take both parents to be working just to put food on the table. And we understand that as adults. Kids don't always understand why mom and dad are gone for so long, or why they have to go to daycare or stay in after school. But the terrible, awful thing that the economy in the world today has done to us is it gives us guilt. And in return, that can affect our mental health. And like I've said before, it's important that we give ourselves grace and understanding and love just as much as we give our children. Because if we're not happy and healthy, our kids aren't. We're their example, and we have to lead by example. So mom guilt, parent guilt. It especially comes from us moms more so than dads. I think most men are raised knowing that they're supposed to be the breadwinner. And I know that's an outdated opinion, but it's mine. When you get married, the man is just expected to go out and have the higher paying job, make the money, and come home and see the kids about supper time. But us moms, that's not how most of us were raised. I know I wasn't. When I was younger, I was taught how to fold clothes, how to cook supper, how to clean the house, because I was going to be the mom. I was a latchkey kid, which is a term for 80s and 90s children who came home, got themselves off the bus, and let themselves in. By the time I was 9 years old, I was taking care of me and my younger sister, making sure our homework was done and dinner was cooked by the time my father got home. My mother was not a full-time, by today's standards, she was not a 9-to-5, she was a nurse. She worked on the weekends. She did 2 12-hour shifts over the weekend, and then she did 1 8-hour shift during the week. She worked on Wednesday nights. She would make sure that dinner was prepped and that I just really had to stick it in the oven and cook it and make sure it didn't burn. I maybe had a vegetable or two to take care of on the stovetop. But basically, she left me a list of directions and instructions on how to finish cooking supper, so me and my sister and my dad could eat when we all got home. This taught me very young that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So I have never really suffered from the mom guilt, I must confess. I know a lot of parents who do. I have a lot of friends who do. But I have found, even though they have the mom guilt, they're sorry, not sorry for it, because they weren't made to be that stay-at-home mom, and that is fine. That is fine if that's not in your DNA. Not all of us are born to want to take care of a bunch of kids. But does that mean you should feel sorry about it and that you should worry about it? I tell my kids every chance I get, I love you. I'm proud of you. I love the person you are growing into. Now, believe me, I do my fair share of screaming. I always joke that they turn me into Frau Farbissina from Austin Powers. Again, another 90s reference. Because I do a lot of yelling and screaming when they're not ready to go or it's time to leave. But that's the best words of wisdom I can give you, is make sure you are saying I love you and giving hugs more than you are screaming. And if you are having to work outside of the home, more power to you. That takes more strength to go all day and work and then come home and have to clean the house or make lunches or dinner and take care of the kids, especially when both of the parents are out of the house all day long. Bless those parents that are organized and on top of it when they're picking out all the clothes for the week and doing their meal planning. I'm always amazed at those parents and their abilities. And I feel sorry that they have the guilt. I won the lottery. My sweet, wonderful husband made enough for years for me to stay at home with our kids. Now, granted, it was tight. And we had a lot of years of love and ramen noodles. But it wasn't until our youngest went to kindergarten that I got another job. Now, I had jobs before I had kids. I was a teacher. I retired from teaching when I had our oldest. But it wasn't until the little one went to school that I said, okay, it's time for me to do something. But I made sure that that something could be done from home. So I can pick my hours. I don't have to be in front of a screen 24/7. I answer my phone calls. I answer my emails. I do my trainings when I need to. I go to Carline every day and some mornings. I make sure my kids are where they need to be. So I am very lucky in that regard. But remember, if you have the parent guilt because you don't think you're there enough, make sure when you are there that you're saying I love you, you are giving hugs, and that they know that you love them for them being them. And they will love you back because you're there. Just try to be present. Get off that phone. Pay attention to what they have to say, even when it makes no sense. So, I hope you like this video. Please comment, share, subscribe. Help me out. I'm a growing channel. And stick around because our next video is going to be on mental health and how important that is. See you next time.